So the danger year for me is not the last 7 years, it's actually the first 7 years.
Someone reaches 25x at age 40. What would stop you from calling them financially independent? Most people think retirement planning is about finding a number like 2 crores, 5 crores, maybe 10 crores. But after speaking to hundreds of investors and reading comments on my channel, I've realized that most people focus on the number and they do not focus on the assumptions behind those numbers. Like what return should you expect? How much equity should you hold? How much uncertainty should you build into your plan? I've already shared my own views on these topics on my channel, but today I want to bring a different perspective. Joining me is Gopala Krishnan. He's a SEBI registered investment advisor. And together we'll discuss some of the most important questions investors and aspiring financial independent individuals should be thinking about. Gopala Krishnan, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Most welcome, my friend. Thanks for having me here. Pleasure to be here.
Same, likewise. All right, so let's get started. I've seen people retire comfortably at 2025x, and then I've also seen many people being very uncomfortable even at 40x. What is that one variable people consistently underestimate?
That's a great question, actually. And so, not surprisingly, I have seen the same. And one variable which we all actually miss out is, I think, is behavior. Nobody can teach us behavior. I mean, it is inculcated, right? I mean, right when we were, let us say, our age, my age at least, 48, I cannot change my behavior that easily. And this is a thing which is actually consistently missing from an Excel sheet. You can't model behavior in an Excel sheet. A new AC comes, a new car comes, a new phone comes. If when I'm retired, if I'm still having that urge to go and splurge that money in that, that is not an Excel sheet which can actually calculate that. So I think that is one variable. Like if I had to pick just one variable, it would be behavior. Obviously, there are many more important things, but behavior, I would stick to behavior.
Nice, because after reaching financial independence, I've been trying hard to spend, but I'm not able to. That behavior of last 5 7 years. But anyway, yeah, that does happen. One question which is related to that is many people go to financial advisors. The financial advisors make a plan, and as you said, make a plan on an Excel sheet, and they hand it over to the investor. After a year or so, the investor realizes that plan is good, but that plan isn't good for him or her. And that has come to me from multiple investors. So, has the same thing happened with you also?
So, I would be wrong to say that no, I am very different from all other investment advisors. And I acknowledge this problem, right? I mean, this is a problem which I myself have faced. I mean, I didn't go to a SEBI RA, but I did go to a wealth advisor, right? So I've seen this problem. So, and it is very wrong on me to say that I'm very different from others and advertise my problem there. But as I said in the first question, right? I mean, what it misses is the behavior as an input to uh, choosing your portfolio. So a set of great assets might be great for you and might not be great for me because our behaviors are different. And I tried to do that in the sense, what I tried to inculcate is try to get a little of bit of history about the person who is investing, but giving the bit of leeway for the advisors as well. What I've seen is people refusing to access some of them, saying that why do you need to do that, why do you need to know that. So it is a, I would say, a 60-40 problem, 60% problem with the advisors, where advisors just say that, okay, these are the good asset classes, go and invest. um, I'm not taking names, or I'm not saying that there are people doing it, but I'm saying that is something which actually happens. And then 40% of the problem is that people refusing to answer some of these questions because they come with the reasoning that थोड़ा behavior जानने के लिए, I mean, to understand your behavior, to your reasoning, you're brought up, is why those questions are asked.
Okay. So the next question is about excess. People keep talking about yeah. So yeah, different textbook. So people keep talking about 25x, 30x, 50x. Does X in isolation matter at all?
uh, I would say it doesn't matter at all. I hate this term, 4% withdrawal rate, 33%, 33x, 25x, 40x. Uh, just like our excess, X is different for everyone. Right? I mean, it is different for everyone, because again, coming, we are talking about behavior, and I could be very comfortable living a uh, very stringent life, and somebody could be having a very difficult thing to actually start spending, like you were saying, right? I mean, I have the same problem because I quit 2 years back, and I kind of try and limit everything, right? I mean, I used to travel by air, now I travel by train. I used to travel by cabs. Now, preferably, I travel, take my own car, or I actually start doing share rides. So it is difficult. So there are two opposite behaviors which are there. People who are very good at behavior, I mean, very good at spending or at excessive spending, will find it difficult to come down. People who have had that for 25 years, my brain told me save. Now suddenly in 2024, at the switch of a button, now I have to start spending. हो नहीं सकता. It doesn't work. And just like that, just because of that, I do not believe that a 33x or a 25x or a 40x will actually work for anyone, because spending patterns it doesn't change in a like a switch. It takes time to realize key, okay, I mean, and then by the time you've actually spent 2.5 years, it took me 2 years. So I retired, or I resigned from my corporate job in 2024 May. It has been 2 year and 1 month. I think finally I've got a hang of how to spend and where to spend. It took me 2 years because the save side brain has just uh, diminished, and the enjoy your life brain has just taken over.
No, nicely put. I was expecting on the lines of the assumptions, but you touched a very important point about behavior. That 25x, 30x, 40x, it is all based on the assumptions that the
Absolutely.
people have, right?
Right.
And some part of that behavior is also a factor in that assumption.
Correct.
So, which is the most important factor for someone to decide their own X other than their behavior?
So there are a couple of things, which there are three things. I mean, three important factors for me, which determine the X number. One is what we call the danger years in retirement. I mean, personally, if all of us, I mean, when I started retirement planning, I was actually worried कि I will spend everything, and the last 7 years कोई नहीं पैसा नहीं देगा मुझे. I was worried about that. That is a fair bit of thing. But the biggest worry is actually the day I retire and 2008 like crash happens. So the danger year for me is not the last 7 years, it's actually the first 7 years. For me, that is something which is very important. And the other thing is longevity, because my biggest worry is I will get some disease where I do not have the capability to take a decision for me. Somebody else will take a decision for me, and it will just elongate my existence, not living existence. And here, this you cannot put it into an Excel sheet. You cannot You cannot model it into an Excel sheet. And and the biggest of all is the function of inflation. Something like a war in Israel, and this one happens, right? I mean, the Gulf War happens. I mean, you just see what has been the expense increase in expense in the last 3 months. We have seen that. On paper, it could be 6%, 7%, but I know it is not 7%, right? And these are the three things which make me really worried, and which will affect our eggs. Because if I increase longevity, if I just say that okay, मैं 100 the 100 साल से तक रहूंगा, then it becomes 40x. I mean, we have to find a balance, right? I mean, somewhere around the balance key about these factors. And then I can say that for first 15 years is risky at the time of retirement. I'll put everything, the first 15 years I'll put it into liquid fund, then my X is going to just explode. So we have to find a balance. So I think somewhere between this 30 40, where you are comfortable, is what the X would lie somewhere.
But again,
If we
again,
have
that
to,
even that 30-40 will be dependent on the expense. Obviously, expense is the more ratio. 35x,
absolutely,
40x is of expense. But then the inflation that you talked about, the longevity is really important. Your asset allocation, your returns, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
It is based on returns, and returns is based on asset allocation. And then you can't have higher equity or risky assets during the last 10-15 years of your retirement life. So how do you plan for all these things, and how do you convince a normal Joe that, see, you came to me hearing 25x, but 25x is not okay because of these reasons. And then the normal Joe says to you, you are wrong. I've been hearing this everywhere. You're the only one who is talking about it. So how do you convince those people, or do you not even convince? You just tell them that these are the factors. Now it is up to you. It's your life, your plan.
Somewhere around the middle. But it is more towards the last part which you said, saying that I follow a three bucket strategy or a two bucket strategy depending on your life period, right? I mean, if you're young like us, then probably a three bucket strategy. And if you're a 60, 65, 70-year old, then a two bucket strategy can work. uh, but and the most important thing I go with is show in cash flow, in numbers, year after year, how a 6% inflation assumption versus a 7% inflation assumption actually changes. A 1% in inflation assumption, assuming you're there for your life period expectancy is another 35 years, it changes by uh, you know 50 60 lakhs. If your assumption was 1.7 crore is your retirement corpus, a 1% increase in inflation can actually make it 2.2 crores, or at least close to 2.1 crores, right? So show all this. So what I do is generally is I create that three bucket plan, input these numbers, uh, then I show them. All right. I mean, 6% assumption, 8% assumption, 7% assumption. Just see the numbers. Just see how it changes. So don't
No,
worry about the excess.
you showing is a different thing. In all of my discussions with investors, what I've come to realize, you're showing all of these things, but what they want to know is, don't show me, give me the number, right? That's what they want. Because, and I don't blame them. They have come to you or gone to somebody for the same very reason, right? They want answers. Now
Right.
you're showing them 6, 7, 8%, and then you're giving them the logic of why 6, why 7, why 8. So when you give a particular inflation number or a return number to somebody, how do you know that they are convinced? Because
So
your entire retirement plan is based on that assumption, and if they don't follow it, then they're going to say that your retirement plan was bad.
that is one of the most common thing which I've actually faced across, not just with retirement, right? I mean, even goal planning, everything. the execution finally comes to the client. You do not own it. You do not. The investor has to do it. One thing I definitely do in one-to-one sessions is to show my portfolio and tell them, show them in one-to-one session key, this is what I did, these are the mistakes I did. If I had continued doing that, this is where I would have been. uh, and I did not do that, thanks to somebody whom I consulted in 2014 and a couple of friends who guided me in the right way. And because of that, I am where I am. Right? I mean, I might not be entirely financially independent, but I'm almost there. Right? So I tried to show them this, saying that only if you do this, it is going to happen. In the end, you will have to say that agar नहीं करना है, if you don't want to do it, there is nothing I can stop you from. Uh, stop. I mean, I can do to convince you if you don't want to do it.
But don't you? This has happened with me, so that is why I'm asking you. So don't you get a guilt feeling? You gave them a number. Let's say 7% is the number that you gave them, and somewhere down the line, you feel they're not going to stop at 7% inflation. Their inflation is going to be 8%. Do you feel like let me call them after 6 months or so just to ask, hey, what's your expense? Is it still 7 or 8? Because it is their life that we are talking about. This job is not just a one transaction, right? It is someone's life that we are talking about. So don't you feel like calling them up? We are humans, right? We want good things for others. So how do you handle those things?
So absolutely. I mean, so I quadruple check everything I send to not just retirees, right? I mean, we are talking about people's life here. When we potential to change people's life is what makes this job exciting. At the same time, makes it very anxious for us कि मैं गलत कहीं उसको बोल ना दूं. So that is always there. So I do want two things. When I send a plan, I call up and ask, have you started following the plan? Are you doing it? Do you find difficulty doing it? Are there any things to help?
Okay. So next question is, if someone reaches 25x at age 40, what would stop you from calling them financially independent?
So on a piece of paper, I would still call them financially independent. Right? I mean, you can technically you can call them financially independent, but it depends on one, what has been their expense assumption. If it has been some 30-40x, mein Pune se 150 kilometers away, I'll go and settle in a gaon. I'll only spend 25K. Then that 25x doesn't make sense. But if that 25x is based on, I'm going to live in a city, I'm going to live this, I'm going to do that, and of course, assuming the person has achieved his life goals, family has been taken care of, doctors are educated, son, kids are educated, uh, and any other goals, all those are taken care, then you can still technically call financially independent. You are financially independent to the extent you remember your. I remember your first video where you said it is called. I loved what you used. It is called respect money. So that 25x is kind of your respect money. Agar the work I'm doing right now, I don't like it. That gives you the flexibility or ability to just say, okay, I'm not going to work this job, I'm going to work that job, I'm going to try and get that job. So it gives you that respect money, as you rightly put it in your video, right? And that is what I would actually call that 25x. um, and when you're talking about financial independence, another thing, another factor which actually has to come, okay, you're retiring now, what are you going to do? And that is something which people should essentially answer. That is, it doesn't come again, it's again a behavior, again a uh, in a Japanese, as they call it, ikigai, right? I mean, what is my purpose of life, what is it that I'm trying to do? And that is something which people should start thinking when they are 40. I mean, if they are figured it out by 40, wonderful. I did not. uh, and that is something which also does come into your financial independence viewpoint.
Everyone just asked me this thing, what am I going to do once I retire, or once I don't have a job, or once I don't do a job. Uh, my take is this is life. Life cannot be limited to those 8 hours.
Absolutely.
And I feel very sad if people do not know, or people have to be dependent on, I have to do something. Why? Wake up. Think what you will be doing. Go for a walk, talk to your friends, watch a movie, go for a trip, help somebody, take your time. That is what life is for me. Life is not about that I have to do something, right? Before this podcast started, we were talking for half an hour. I enjoyed that conversation. It doesn't have to be a
Absolutely.
podcast. People can do that, right? So why do you think about it?
Very interesting
What?
perspective. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. And when I said the purpose of life, you still, I personally think, right? I mean, the kind of person I am, uh, I do all these things, but I still need to use my uh, thing somewhere. Uh, it's not exactly brain or mind, or I don't know what it is. Maybe it is heart. I don't know what it is. I need to have something that I wake up and want to do. Um, I mean, I really enjoyed including this podcast before the half an hour we spent talking. All this time I enjoyed. And it's not work for me because I love talking about this. And you can do this in front of a set of people, and that becomes my work for the day.